Hollywood. That's gooey, ballyhooly Hollywood, where any office boy or young mechanic can be a panic with just a good-looking pan.
And any shop girl can be a top girl if she pleases the tired businessman.
Hooray for
Hello, Hollywood! Welcome to this morning's Walk of Fame ceremony. And a special shout out to our fans watching the live video stream courtesy of our media partner, Variety. I'm LaRon Gubler, President and CEO of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, which is presenting today's program. We also want to acknowledge the fans clear across the street who are with us today. Huge turnout. So today we are dedicating the 2,643rd star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame to one of America's funniest musical geniuses. Today we honor Weird Al Yankovic. Now, before I tell you a little about his background, I want to do a special acknowledgement. You know, the stars all require a sponsor. Usually it's a studio or an agent or someone like that, but the star today, all the money for this star was raised by Weird Al's fans. And, in fact, it was called they had a fund, it was called the Weird Al Star Fund, or WASP, I think, WASP. Anyway, all of those who contributed, I think, are right in here. Raise your hands and cheer. And the rest of you can cheer for them, too, for contributing. Thank you. Well, let me tell you about our honoree. Few would have guessed that Weird Al Yankovic, who as a shy accordion-playing teenager got his start sending in homemade tapes to the Dr. DeManno radio show, would go on to become a pop culture icon and the biggest selling comedy recording artist of all time. How about that? With classic song and music video parodies such as Eat It, Like a Surgeon, Smells Like Nirvana, Amish Paradise, White and Nerdy, and Word Crimes, he made it big. Now in his fourth decade as America's foremost song parodist, he has been the recipient of numerous awards, including 4 Grammys. How about that? In 2015 and 16, Weird Al's mandatory world tour encompassed 200 shows throughout the U.S., Canada, Europe, and Australia, and included 2 nights right here at the Hollywood Bowl. How many of you were at the Hollywood Bowl? I thought so. So far this year, Weird Al has performed 77 shows as part of his ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised vanity tour. And next year, Weird Al will follow up his most bare-bones tour with his most extravagant tour ever, Strings Attached. And he and his band will be backed up every night by a full orchestra. All right, so get your tickets. Weird Al's 14th studio album, the Grammy Award-winning Mandatory Fun in 2014, became the first comedy album in history to debut at #1 on the Billboard Top 200 charts. And he is one of only 4 artists to have had top 40 singles in each of the last 4 decades. And get this, he's in very good company with Michael Jackson, Madonna, and U2. How about that? Al has remained active as a recording artist. June of 2017 saw the release of Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, for which Al co-wrote and performed the movie's theme song. In March of this year, Al delivered the Hamilton Polka. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, that's a frantic tour de force mashup of 14 songs from the Broadway smash commissioned by Lin-Manuel Miranda and released as part of the Hameldrop series. Now, in addition to his cult hit feature film, UHF, his late 90s CBS Saturday morning series, The Weird Al Show, and numerous Al TV specials he's made for MTV and VH1 over the years, he has remained a staple of film and television, from appearances on The Simpsons, 30 Rock, The Goldbergs, and How I Met Your Mother, to performing live on the Primetime Emmy Awards and starring in his own concert specials for Disney, VH1, and Comedy Central. All right. Al added New York Times best-selling author to his resume in 2011 with the release of his first children's book, When I Grow Up, followed 2 years later by My New Teacher and Me, and then with The Weird Al, the book. He's also involved in charity. His charity work includes Muzak, the Santa Monica Malibu Education Fund, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. All right. Well, we could go on, but I shortened that because you want to see our honoree. So please help me welcome to the stage now our honoree, Weird Al Yankovic. I've got to tell you, Weird Al, this is a great crowd. Well, before you get to hear from our honoree, we have a couple of special guests who've asked to say a few words about their friend. Our first speaker has been playing. We'll wait just a second for that. I'll start over. Our first speaker has been playing mad music and crazy comedy on the airwaves and online since 1970. In the mid-'70s, he began playing funny songs sent in on tape by listeners. He received one from a 16-year-old Alfred Yankovic of Linwood, California. Though crudely recorded, the original song was well-crafted and very funny. To make a long story short, Al has become the most requested and most played artist in the history of our guest show. Please welcome Dr. Demento to the show.
They asked me to talk about what it's like to know Weird Al Yankovic in person. Well, I've known him for so long, I knew him before he was weird. Well, before he was Weird Al, anyway, people began calling him Weird Al because he's a little different. And he took that as a badge of honor. All I can say about that is if more people were weird like him, wouldn't we have a much better world? Well, as you just heard, I first heard of Al with a homemade cassette in the mail, one of probably 20 or 25 that I got that week. It was not state-of-the-art, but it was funny, the lyrics and the accordion and everything. And somehow, most importantly, he made that song really come alive on that cheap cassette recorder. Well, after he'd sent me a couple of more of those tapes, I was convinced he had a special talent and I wanted to meet him. So I invited him up to my live show on station KMET, and he showed up in a suit and tie, which for a high school kid in 1976 was almost as weird as having an accordion on your tape. Well, I soon found out that when the mic was off, he was very soft-spoken. Little shy, but obviously very intelligent. And that was even before I knew he was the valedictorian of his class. He told me he'd been listening to my show for a while, and he obviously heard a lot, learned a lot from listening to Spike Jones, Stan Freberg, Frank Zappa, and particularly Alan Sherman, whose song parodies were so very popular in the 1960s. You know, you don't often think of funny people as being perfectionists, but Al is one of the great perfectionists and a workaholic as well. He knows what he wants and he knows how to get it. He watches and then he figures out how to do it himself. And he's also very loyal to those he works with. He's had the same manager and the same band for about 35 years now. How many people in Hollywood can say that? And the people that he works with and his fans are extremely loyal to him. Look how many there are here. Many of the people here have come a very long way to be here today. And nowadays at his shows, you'll see those people with their kids and, yes, a few grandkids. Al has been doing this a long, long time. He's had a longer and more fruitful career than anyone else ever who's ever created and performed funny music, and no one's ever done it better. I'm very, very proud to be here and to say that this man's career began on the Dr. Demento show. Still on the air, by the way. DrDemento.com. Hey! New album, Dr. Demento, covered in punk, but I'm entirely here to salute the greatest, Weird Al Yankovic.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Demento. So I've got a couple of acknowledgments to make. I just wanted to acknowledge that we have with us the mayor of the city of Linwood, California here. He came to be sure they could honor one of their favorite sons. Please acknowledge Jose Luis Solache, the mayor of Linwood. And he also said they're very proud you were the valedictorian. We also want to acknowledge our friends from the Line Friends store and the Hollywood Experience for letting us block their store today. But I know with all of the Weird Al fans who are going to come back, they're going to reap rewards from that. So thank you. Now our next speaker is a writer and actor who hails from Oak Park, Illinois. Anybody know where Oak Park is? All right. He is best known for his role as Lieutenant Jim Dangle in the series Reno 911. He has written several films, including Night at the Museum, The Pacifier, and Balls of Fury. Please welcome Thomas Lennon to the stage.
Wow, it's packed. So they say you should never meet your heroes. But in 2005, at the Staples office supply store on Wilcox, I did just that. The store had just opened. It was 11 a.m. on the dot. Apparently it was some kind of emergency that I get printer toner on a Sunday morning. And another man was pondering the printer toner wall with me, a man with a magnetic energy and hair like something out of the movie The Wiz. I recognized him, I instantly freaked out, and I tried to act cool, and I said, "Excuse me, are you Weird Al Yankovic?" And he replied, "Yes, are you Lieutenant Dangle?" And I said, "I am. Should we just agree to be friends for life?" And Al said, "Okay." And we shook on it, but the punchline of that story is that then we did. No kidding, I just asked Weird Al Yankovic if I could be his friend, and he said okay. And then he did it. He became one of the best friends that I would ever have, and one of my only friends who's not pretty weird. And the way that we met says a lot about Al, because the way that you do something is the way that you do everything. And Al does everything the best way that it can be done. There are no half efforts with Al. Somehow there are not even typos in emails he sends from his phone. Al's knowledge of everything can sometimes make it feel like you're talking to Watson, the IBM supercomputer that won Jeopardy! If that computer had also written Dare to be Stupid. Maybe his attention to detail has something to do with his degree in architecture. Yes, this part of the speech is also just an excuse to say that Al has a degree in architecture. The fact that Al is a multifaceted genius is well documented. There are almost as many awards in his house as there are Hawaiian shirts. You and I are fans of the Pixies. Well, the Pixies are fans of Weird Al's. Smells Like Nirvana made Nirvana feel like they had arrived. No matter how many original songs you think Al has written, I assure you there are more than you think. If you had told me in 1981 when I was in the way back of my parents' car listening to Another One Rides the Bus, this guy with the accordion, he's going to go on to 15 Grammy nominations, he's going to go gold or platinum 10 times over, he'll go #1, he'll direct films, music videos, he'll tour as much and as passionately as Bruce Springsteen, and along the way he'll become a best-selling author just as a goof. Because Al can do all of those things, because the way that Al does something is the way that Al does everything. Al is the type of father that I aspire to be. Al and Suzanne's daughter, Nina, is one of the coolest people I've ever met. Suzanne is a great artist in her own right. Her photographs will blow your mind, and to quote Indiana Jones, they belong in a museum. The only 3 people in the world who might be as interesting as Suzanne, Al, and Nina Yankovic are maybe the band Rush. And that's a big maybe. When Al asked me to speak at this ceremony, I was surprised because it seemed like he got one of these a long time ago. But now you have one, Al, here amongst Errol Flynn and Donald Duck. And in some ways, you are a little bit of both. Al, you are without qualification the kindest, hardest working, most hilarious person I have ever met. Thank you for your music, your books, and for UHF. And thank you for agreeing to be my friend. You have held up your end of that handshake agreement that we made at Staples better than I ever could have imagined. So they say don't ever meet your heroes, but I hope you do if your heroes are like mine, Weird Al Yankovic.
Thank you, Thomas. Well, it's my pleasure now to introduce one of the hardest working men in Los Angeles. He represents Hollywood on the Los Angeles City Council. He's working for us every day to improve Hollywood. Please welcome the Honorable Mitch O'Farrell.
Thank you so much, Laron. Every time I get to have the wonderful privilege of speaking at a star ceremony, I am especially grateful when we're celebrating a person who gives us perhaps the greatest gift of all, and that is the gift of laughter. How about a big round of applause for Weird Al Yankovic? Who helps us forget our troubles for just a moment and really just enjoy life and all of the irreverence that comes with it. So thank you, Weird Al Yankovic, for the gift of laughter. I want to thank the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce for doing these star ceremonies and providing a place, a location, an environment in which people from across the world can visit right here on the historic Walk of Fame and pay tribute to their stars from the world over, whether it's the United States or across the world. Tens of millions of visitors every year visit the Walk of Fame, and now that's how many people get to see the Weird Al Yankovic star. As someone who grew up in a household where irreverence and mandatory fun was a requirement, I just want to let you know that my brother and I also enjoyed Dr. Demento growing up, and that sense of irreverence and humor really helped shape my outlook in life. And it keeps us from taking ourselves too seriously. It keeps us very well grounded. So along the lines of Monty Python and the irreverent music of Ray Stevens, that is the world in which we can just kind of enjoy the absurdity of it all. And that's what you bring. And to everyone else, I know when I was growing up, it was not okay at all to ever be weird in any way, shape, or form, right? And young people still have that sort of embedded in their social circles. But someone comes along like Weird Al Yankovic and says, you know, it's okay if you're a little different, if you have a different perspective and a different take on life, you know, and if you have a little weirdness in you, you can still contribute and add and reach your full potential without shame and without the pressure of social requirements and social structures. You can live beyond the acceptable norms. And I swear to you, it is that value that enabled me to help reach my goals and my dreams. So in that sense, I also thank you. And with that, I just want to provide a token of our gratitude on behalf of the City of Los Angeles. It has so many of your wonderful accomplishments in this resolution, and it is a token of our gratitude as the City of Los Angeles for giving us joy and irreverence and looking beyond what we see in front of us every day, all the troubles in the world, and just have a good, hearty laugh at it all. Thank you, Weird Al Yankovic.
Thank you, Councilmember O'Farrell. So it's time to hear from our honoree. Let me just say that we hereby declare this Weird Al Yankovic Day in Hollywood. It's your day. And if you'd look at it, it's being live streamed, so look forward.
Weird Al Yankovic Day? Well, and things are going to start changing around here right now, people! Thank you, Laurent Goobler, if that is in fact your real name. And thank you to all you folks for coming here today. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming out to this free event. You know, honestly, I had no idea the unemployment rate was so high here in Hollywood. I didn't know. I didn't know. Well, this is just an unbelievable moment for me. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever have imagined that one day I would be immortalized here on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, sharing the same prestigious honor as Ryan Seacrest and Wally Cox and Absolute Vodka. It just boggles my mind. I'm not sure if I should admit this, but I actually could have gotten this star like 10 or 20 years ago, but I told the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce that I specifically wanted the 2,643rd star, and it took a while for that number to come up in rotation, so my bad. Sorry about the wait, everybody. Oh, and a special apology to Robert De Niro. He's getting a star on the Walk of Fame next year. I know a lot of you know this already, but De Niro has been very vocal about the fact that he just thought it would be criminally unfair for him to get a star before me. So, sorry, Bobby, and thanks for being patient. Actually, the effort to get me a star here on the Walk of Fame has been going on for a very, very long time. So first and foremost, and from the bottom of my heart, I want to sincerely thank all the fans that made today possible. I also want to thank all the fans that didn't make today possible. They're cool too. I don't want to leave them out. But mostly I want to thank two specific fans, Dave Elvis Rossi and Vicky DeVries. Let me tell you a little story about Dave. Dave, I see you. Stand up, Dave. Stand up. Okay, now do a little dance. That was disturbing. Okay, you can sit down, thank you. Back to the story. One day, back in 2003 AD, Dave Rossi was vacationing here in beautiful Hollywood, California, when he discovered, to his chagrin, to his utter jaw-dropping horror, that his favorite musical recording artist, Weird Al Yankovic, did not have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. From that moment on, Dave's entire world was out of balance. Nothing really made sense to Dave anymore, but he knew that he would have to spend every waking moment of his life in an effort to correct this cruel injustice in the universe. So in the year of our Lord 2005, he took it upon himself to start the Weird Al Star Fund. With the help of trusty treasurer Vicky DeVries, rhymes with cheese, Dave reached out to fans for donations, for money that would go toward the exorbitant star fee, so that in the unlikely event that the application was accepted, I would have a star. Well, as it turns out, their application was not approved that year, and it was also turned down every single year after that for the next 12 years in a row. Don't worry, the story has a happy ending. And during that time, whenever the already exorbitant star fee went up, which it did, a lot, it basically tripled during that time, they would just go out and raise some more money. So I want to sincerely thank all of the generous fans who took out second mortgages on their homes and subsisted on nothing but ramen noodles for years and years, just so I could be standing before you here today. Thank you for your selfless sacrifice. I mean, I guess you could have donated that money to the Red Cross or the American Cancer Society or something, but I think you made the right choice. I do. I think this was an excellent use of your disposable income. Seriously, though, I'm completely overwhelmed by the love and support of the fans. This means so much to me. I've said this in interviews many times over the years. Having my name in a star on a sidewalk, you know, and that's cool. That's really nice. You know, who wouldn't want that? But just knowing that I have the love and support of the fans, people that would go through all this time and effort and money to do something completely crazy like this, that means everything in the world to me. Although full disclosure, now that we're actually here and we're doing this is pretty awesome. I was being all cool and everything, but I'm really, really happy about this. I'm happy that for the rest of my life, whenever I hear the song Celluloid Heroes by the Kinks, I'm going to have a special personal connection to those lyrics. I'm thrilled that the Chamber of Commerce was able to honor my request. I talked to them a couple months ago, and I asked them, I said, if it's possible at all, can my star be directly next to my two all-time greatest musical influences, Roy Clark and Barry White? And also, I know this is acting like I don't want to be pushy or anything, but if I could be like within 200 feet of a Hooters. So, ladies and gentlemen, dreams do come true. But mostly, it's just an honor knowing that my name is going to be walked on, spit on, and let's face it, urinated on for generations to come. That's a legacy, my friends. By the way, I'm sorry I even have to say this. I don't want to even have to ask this, but please don't pickaxe my star, okay, guys? I mean, I know it's all the rage these days, but that's not cool. Just, you know, that's rude. Just please don't do that. Unless at some point in the future, I do something unfathomably monstrous and evil, in which case, sure, fine, okay, go ahead. It makes sense. But anything short of that, please limit yourself to spitting and urinating, okay? Have some class, people. Which reminds me, I wasn't sure if I should bring this up, but I've got something I want to say right now. Some people would argue that this isn't the time or the place, that it's not appropriate for a celebration like this, but and I understand that, I really do, but there are a lot of people here today. The media is covering this. I've got a lot of attention, serious attention focused on me right now, worldwide attention, and I kind of feel like I don't want to waste this opportunity as a public figure to use my voice to say something that I think is really important. And I apologize in advance if this is not what some of you want to hear, but I feel like I have to make a statement. I'm selling a used credenza on Craigslist. It's espresso brown, mid-century modern. The left rear corner's got a little bit of damage, like a little chip. You can like use a Sharpie or a felt pen or a magic marker, just color it in. You'd never know. You'd never. And one of the drawers sticks a little bit, but other than that, it's in perfect. Well, it's in decent shape. It's asking $200 or best offer. I'm flexible, but cash only, no personal checks. Oh man, thanks for letting me get it off my chest. Whoo man, I feel much better now. Thank you. I think that's pretty much it. I just want to wrap this up with a few quick thank yous. Once again, I cannot thank the fans enough. I mean, all of this, everything today, this is all you guys, 100%. You know, I'm not getting the start through the efforts of a record label or a movie studio or a TV company or any other corporate entity. This is completely because of the fans. I love you guys, and I am now and forever grateful for your support. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, who after 13 years of getting badgered and harassed and pestered by those very same fans, finally said those beautiful magic words, "Yeah, okay, we'll take your money." I want to thank the guys in my band, the best band in the entire world. Now, that's not hyperbole. That's not my personal opinion. That's been empirically proven, my friends. That is a fact. And this star belongs as much to them as it does to me. Guys, stand up. Stand up. Everybody, stand up. John Bermuda Schwartz, Jim Kimo West, Steve J. And I want to say Ruben. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Ruben Baltiero. Well, he's the new guy. He's only been one of this for 27 years, so we're still breaking him in. He's doing pretty well so far. You know what? Ruben got married 2 days ago. This is true. He got married in Northern California on Saturday, and apparently he chose to come here on his honeymoon. Idiot. Yeah. Are you here solo, man? Oh, that's not a good sign. No. Oh, man. Anyway, I love these guys to death. They've been with me forever, and they're the absolute greatest. And if you don't believe me, I will fight you. I want to thank the great Barrett Eugene Hansen, a.k.a. Dr. Demento. The man who single-handedly changed the entire trajectory of my life. And also Thomas Lennon, one of my absolute closest and dearest friends. I forced them both to come here today and say really, really nice things about me while I awkwardly stood 2 feet away from them. That was fun. I love you guys, and I feel #blessed to have people like you in my life. I want to thank Jay Levy. who has been my long-suffering personal manager since 1981. He deserves some kind of special award just for that. And if not for that, certainly for his groundbreaking work in the role of Gandhi in the major motion picture UHF. I mean, come on! Come on! You were robbed, man. You were totally snubbed. The Academy really slept on that one. Okay, I really need to speed this up, and there's so many people I have left to thank, so I want to thank you, and you, and you, and you, and you, not you, but definitely you. And finally, I want to thank the two most important people in my life, my amazing wife, Suzanne, and my equally amazing daughter, Nina. Suzanne, thanks for putting up with me when I'm in my creative mode, when I'm lost in my own world, staggering around the house like a zombie in a Simpsons bathrobe, his eyes glazed over and randomly bumping into things. I'm sure that's not what you signed up for. And Nina, thank you so much for putting up with years and years and years of horrible dad jokes. I can't even begin to imagine how horrible and torturous that was for you, and I'm truly deeply sorry. I love you both so much. Well, thank you all once again for this amazing honor. This is so far beyond anything I could have possibly imagined when I was in college, recording songs with my accordion in a bathroom, getting the star on the Walk of Fame. I kind of feel like this is maybe my one real shot at immortality, because I know that now my name is going to basically be here till the end of civilization, which, let's face it, is probably like 3 or 4 months away, but still, that's something, I guess, right? I love you guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's unveil that star. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly welcome to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, we're now Yankovic.
Alright guys, straight ahead. Right here on the end.
Gentlemen, can you show bodies?
Empty.
Come on. Get your pivots on. Come on, you're in the way. Come on. There you pivot.
And straight ahead.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay, guys. Stand up straight. Let's try again. Stand up straight, doctor. There we go.
Thomas, right here. Al, Tom.
You're right.
Center, got it?
We did it.
Down. That's it out.
That's what she said last night.
Al?
Al, down here.
Lay down and give us sexy pose.
Oh.
And we're down.
You're right.
You're right.
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Al, straight ahead, Al.
Touch the star, Al.
You can touch it.
Yes.
It's
Oh, yeah.
Al.
Al, straight ahead. You are too cute.
Give it a sexy.
Are you good, I did not think I would take this many shots.
That was good.
20 more seconds.
Whatever you want, Al.
Oh, yeah. Got you. Oh, yeah.
Give us a happy jump. How about a different pose? Jump. What up there? Kiss it. That's one really ate. This is the only time you want to kiss.
All right, I need you to look straight ahead, Al.
Okay.
I think it just counts. I just think that.
You wonder why?
Anna, straight ahead. Turn this way, guys. Thank you. Right down on the bottom, guys.
Straight ahead, guys.
Right down low.
Get in there closer to Dad. Nina, get closer to Dad.
There you go.
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead, guys.
Give them both a kiss. Anna, straight ahead.
Yeah.
You wrote that, right? Tina!
Straight ahead.
And back this way, please. Yes.
Al.
And Weird Al?
Get both of you.
Al, Nina! And guys down here. The only time you get.
It's very clean right now.
Clean now.
Right there.
It's as clean as it'll get. I just cleaned it yesterday. Come on up a little bit, guys.
You ain't no fun.
Come up a little bit. There you go.
Do something crazy, guys. 1, 2, 3, go.
Do something crazy.
Go crazy.
Woman doing something crazy.
Everybody point. We're done with the band. We're going to move the family back in. Are you guys feeling family?
Is there going to be a sequel to UHF?
Okay, we need everybody to look straight ahead. Don't blink.
This group takes direction really well.
Alan J.
Alfred M. Wood. Another funny one?
Yeah, like Trump. What?
You guys can stay here. I left my kids in the car.